Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Garth here from fujifilm. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. In this video, the YouTuber Jonathan Progress, otherwise known as Kingjvpes, yes, that man, the Minolta gang guy, he took the time out of his day to sit down with me and have a conversation about his new zine, new project that he's been working on called Crosswalks. So just before we get into the actual video with me and him having the conversation, I just want to say this kind of thing is not usual for my channel, but I'm starting to slowly build it in. And if you guys do actually enjoy these interview style kind of videos, let me know down in the comments below. But I'm going to stop rambling now and let you guys crack on with watching me and Kingjvpes have a little conversation about his zine. It's really worth sticking around for, and if you want, feel free to minimize the video and just enjoy the conversation. Enjoy. So, he's the man who doesn't need any introduction because he is the much more subscribed YouTuber than myself. It's Kingjvpes. Hello and welcome to the fujifilm YouTube channel. How are you doing?
Sup, Garth? Dude, glad to be on the show with you. And yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, we call it a show. I've done it with one other photographer, but you know, it's good fun. I like discussing zines with people. So,
yes, sir.
Your new zine is now out and sold out on the first batch. Well done.
Thank you.
And
appreciate it, man.
The zine is called Crosswalks, and I'm assuming if you guys are watching this, you potentially have the copy of the zine yourself. So it might be worth grabbing your copy of the zine and using it and having a look through some of the images as we discuss this. I haven't got my copy yet, but Kingjvpes himself has got the zine, so we can put up some bits as we go along. So, Kingjvpes,
yo,
what is it about crosswalks and why crosswalks? I mean, over here we just call it the curb, where you cross the road at the traffic light. I mean, what led you to shooting crosswalks and why crosswalks itself? Enlighten us.
Yeah, so I'm based out of the San Francisco Bay Area. I don't actually live in the city, so every time I do go out into that inner city setting and I see something weird happening, you know, for example, whether it's two people holding a mannequin walking across the street, or, you know, somebody running with a balloon, it's always happened at a crosswalk. And that's where I tend to find myself photographing most of the time anyways, just because there's so much action from people crossing the street, from people, you know, getting off from their BART station, or, you know, all of those crazy things that you don't normally see. I live in a city called Vallejo, and it's not as populated. And so when I see things like this, it's weird to me, and I want to capture that. And in a sense, this was a very interesting project for me because it was the first time I shot color film, and it was also the first time I wanted to photograph the streets based off of the events that I see, rather than trying to formulate a photo, you know, to make something look nice. So I'm not using any fishing techniques. I'm not waiting and scouting for somebody to walk through the frame. This crosswalk zine is about capturing moments as they appear in front of me and trying to make the best out of it with my camera.
So you mentioned that you shot this on colour film,
yep,
and it's your first project shooting it actually on colour. So would you like to elaborate on, just for those who are interested, the camera that you used, if it was multiple, and if there's any kind of consistency with the film stock, or is it just a bit of mix and match in what you wanted to try and shoot on whatever specific kind of day, if that makes sense?
Of course, yeah. So for starters, I really wanted to just limit the equipment that I've used. But one thing that I really wanted consistent was a 35mm lens. I just like that focal length. So it really didn't matter what camera I shot, but I did strictly only shoot to the Leica M2, which is probably what I would say most of the work was done on. And then I had one image taken with the Nikon 35Ti, the little point and shoot. So, you know, those two cameras are very easy for me to operate. I know them like they're the back of my hand, so it's just really easy to shoot.
So we're talking like the 35mm Noctilux?
Not the Noctilux, no. This was the Voigtlander Color Scope R 35 2.5.
Great little lens.
Yeah, I know you have one as well, right?
I'm actually borrowing it off a friend at the minute.
There you go.
I'm yet to develop any images with it.
Dude, it's really good at f8. But yeah, that little lens is awesome. That's mostly what I shot with. Now, as for color film, I started the project off shooting strictly only Lomo 800 because I
Okay.
love the way Lomo looks. That film in particular, overexposed to 400.
See, a
And
lot of YouTubers, including yourself, have raved on about this Lomo 800, and I'm still yet to try it.
you gotta
It
try
look,
it, dude.
and I've seen Matt Day's like landscapey stuff, and it does look really, really nice.
Yeah, sometimes it's weird because it'll render colors in a different way than like Portra would, than Fuji would in any other film, but it does it in a way that is very unique to what Lomo does. There's a lot of cyan colors that come out of it, and when you overexpose it by 400, you get these really really nice pastel colors.
Okay.
But yeah, I like shooting Lomo 800 at 400 because it gives me a one-stop overexposure, and since I'm shooting on the Leica, I'm doing everything Sunny 16 and metering by eye. I don't have a light meter at all. It's always nice to have that extra compensation. So if I ever do underexpose one stop, since I'm shooting as a 400 speed film, I'm still on the dot with
Yeah, you've kind of got that
exposure.
latitude to play with.
Exactly, yeah, kind of
Okay.
give myself some lee room.
Yeah.
And then later on, I shot so many rolls of Lomo 800. To be exact, I ordered 5 3-packs, which is like 15 rolls, and I got like 2 more boxes of that, so that ended up being like 20 something rolls. And then Lomo went out of stock for Lomo 800
Yeah.
in the middle of the
Them
project.
Gosh darn YouTubers.
And then I had to make a decision whether to shoot, a Fujifilm stock or a Lomo film stock. But the only thing is, Lomo 400 doesn't look like Lomo 800 at all.
Yes.
So instead, I decided to shoot with a bunch of Fuji Superia, which is probably my, if not my all-time favorite color film, maybe behind Lomo 800, which you don't like, I don't think.
No. Although I have got 100 foot of the stuff, I just bought it because it was cheap.
There you go. I'll buy it off of you. But
It's mostly short.
there you go. So, yeah, I mean, I love Fuji Superia, shooting at 400 ISO, very flexible. But you will see some images taken with that film, for sure.
Okay, so it's a mix of Lomo and Fuji kind of colours?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So we've discussed a little bit on how the zine started to come to play in the sense of that it's where you kind of see the interesting people of the city, as you would say.
Yes.
So is there any particular images within this zine that stand out to you as like, this one is a keeper and I'm really proud to have this in the zine? Like, obviously we've got the girl on the cover, the little girl on the cover, which I think is an adorable image. But is there any further within this where it's like, this is a banger?
A banga. I'm sorry.
A banger.
Excuse me. But absolutely. I mean, there's a photo in here. There's 2 photos where I feel like this, fits into place. The first photo, so if you guys have the zine, follow along, is this photo here. It is probably the flagship image of the zine. And the most important thing about this photo to me is that I really didn't know I got it. This is what I mean. Like, when you ask me, like, did you ever capture a photo? Thank you. Did you capture a photo that you felt like this is going to be a banger? I had no idea this was going to turn out. I initially wanted to just photograph the girl here, the street performer, in all red.
Yep.
And then what happened was, I was setting up my exposure, and she was about to pose for it, almost, kind of walking closer to me. And I look to the right of my eye, I see something moving very quickly, and it turns out it's, this guy on the bike, and he wants to photobomb it. And I'm pre-focused here, f8 between, I think I'm like pre-focused to about like 8 to 10 feet. And as the dude kind of flies through the frame, I just click my shutter button in hopes to capture something. I had no idea that, I would be able to capture the girl here within the wheel as a subframe, and just capture his face as well. I mean, I was shocked when I got the scans back. I was just really, really amazed, and I was like, okay.
See, that's the thing with, I know I don't want to turn this into the whole film versus digital kind of argument, but that's a really nice thing when you're shooting film and you're not quite sure if you've nailed it, and then when you actually get the results back and you look at the negative and you go, oh doggy, I got that one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, with digital, easily you'd be able to see it right away, but you know, apart from that, I feel like when I do have a digital camera and I do shoot street photography, I tend to look at my images more and worry about that rather than focusing on, you know, what's in front of me, what's presented in front of me. So, you know, that's another creative reason why, or I should say, you know, I choose this medium to photograph with, is because it allows me to stay in the zone while I'm out there photographing. So I just don't have to worry about it later on.
It's a very cliche kind of thing, but it's true.
Very cliche. I mean, you hear that everywhere, pretty much.
You do, but it is true. I mean, I've just come back from holiday myself, or vacation, and I know if I had a screen on the back of my camera, I would be snap, look, and I had my M6 with me, snap, walk away, carry on, enjoy the sight. Exactly. Yeah. Well, you answered about 3 of my questions within one answer, so.
Actually, so here, the other photo that, you know, I took that I feel like, you know, would fit into this category is this photo here. If you guys are following along, it's an image of a couple here in San Francisco. This is right outside of a political rally where everybody's chanting, everybody's saying negative things about our current president, and you know, it's a very, very, like, there's a lot of commotion.
Yeah.
And in the middle of all of this, I saw an older man, an older woman here, and, you know, while everybody's screaming and shouting and yelling, this is the scene that I see. And honestly, this is what made the Crosswalk project really, really interesting for me. I was just walking across the street and I saw everything happening, and, you know, these two were just looking at each other, talking it out. The man here looked, I don't know, just his facial expression within this image was really, really nice to capture. Probably the most heartwarming image in this entire set. I mean, of course, this one as well, but if I were to say, like, I had a lot of joy taking one photo, it was this photo in particular.
So would you say that this particular image is one that planted the seed for the zine?
It definitely was after I planted the seed, because, you know, I already, the image that started it all for me was this image here.
Yes.
The image of the little girl. That's what kind of brought this idea into my head, but this was definitely taken after that.
Right. That was the fertilizer on the soil, shall we say? Cool. You've answered the majority of the questions that I had for you. So, Kingjvpes, thank you so much for taking this time out and giving this little conversation to do with your current project of Crosswalks.
Absolutely, man.
For the 3 people who are on my channel and not on yours, your link will be down in the description. And if they're interested in picking up a zine, will there be any more available? Because I know currently you are actually sold out.
Yes, so I've ordered a couple of extra on the side just to give away to some of my friends and family. You know, if I do have some extra, definitely get in touch with me through Instagram or through my email on my website, kingjvpesphoto.com. And then I'll let you know if we'll be able to print any more. But as of right now, the 140 that have been printed are the only edition that's going to be made.
So if you guys are interested, don't forget to give Kingjvpes a follow on YouTube and a follow on Instagram, both down in the comments, both down in the description below. And it's been Garth here from Murphy's Film. Kingjvpes, thank you so much for spending this time.
Minolta
it's been
gang.
Garth here. Minolta gang. I thought we were like a gang.
Nah, man, that's just you.
You've got the M2.
Yeah, but I mean, my roots are still with the Minolta. I use that camera almost every week.
Okay. Color Scope our gang.
There you go. Okay, I'm with you on that. Color Scope our gang.
Don't forget to leave this video a like, a comment, a share, and all that other good stuff. It's been Garth here from Murphy's Film. Don't forget to hit the notification bell for being notified every time a new channel video goes live thing. I don't do notification bell. Bye.